Hi, I'm Dan.
And I'm Mel from adventuresofmel.com. And tonight we're going to make chicken and hummus loaded nachos in a sheet pan. So to get started, Dan's going to shred up the chicken. And we've already cooked it.
I've got probably about 1.5 pounds of chicken breast that I've cooked prior in our Instant Pot in a nice slow cook. So
can you refresh the page so we can see? And then he's going to mix that with a little bit of salsa just to give it some extra flavor. And I'm going to mix up the hummus, and I'm using Bush's Hummus Made Easy, and it's the roasted red pepper flavor. So I'm just going to, I forgot to get scissors. Do we have scissors?
where do you play the video on here?
Yeah, you scroll down to it and then hit the date. Hit the date on it, and it'll bring it up, but you have to turn the volume down. We're getting set up.
Hello,
Hi,
Nancy.
Okay, so I'm going to mix up this hummus. It's really cool. It's in a pouch, and I'm just going to put it in the blender with a can of drained garbanzo beans. And this would be normally ready. Okay, we're back. Having a little bit of internet issues, it looks like. Anyway, this hummus would be ready to eat with crackers or anything, fresh veggies, carrots and celery. But we're going to use it on nachos tonight. And then I'm going to throw in the can of garbanzo beans. And then I'm just going to give this a good blending. Just takes a minute. I've never made hummus, always have bought it pre-made. I did too before. It was a while ago, but I worked with Bush's on a campaign for this hummus, and I was introduced to it, and now it's so easy, and it's a lot cheaper than pre-made too. You can find it in the bean aisle at the store.
I think it tastes a little better too. I haven't tried making it from scratch yet.
They have different flavors too. They have a Southwest black bean. They have classic. So we've tried the Southwest black bean. It's pretty good. Alright, so now since my hummus is all mixed up, you can kind of see it's a nice smooth blend. I'm going to set that to the side, and I'm going to go ahead and layer my tortilla chips out on my cookie sheet.
So when adding the salsa picante sauce to your chicken, if you add a little more chicken, you may have to up your sauce, but you want it a pretty good, let the chicken soak it up good so it's nice and red, and you want to be able to taste that sauce.
You can use picante if you don't want to use salsa. You can use whichever one you prefer. So you'll layer a good amount of chips. I'm looking at my recipe, but I can't remember what to put. It's just however many chips you think your family will eat, and we always have leftovers. Always have leftovers. And a tip for the leftovers, usually you would think that leftover nachos would not be good, but if you warm them up back up in the oven, they'll crunch right back up. So you'll have leftovers for lunch the next day, which is pretty cool.
Did you tell them how much onion?
Oh, he's mincing half of a red onion right now to put on the nachos. Now since we have the chips, I'm going to take and add little dollops of hummus all throughout on top of the chips. You'll use the whole pack of hummus for this. We use this instead of refried beans. It adds a healthier twist to it.
The onion's falling apart.
Dan has a special way of mincing onion, and it works really well usually.
If your onion doesn't fall apart. This onion's grown weird.
Anybody asking? Nancy says, I've never thought of adding hummus. Good to know. Yeah, I hadn't really thought of it until I had to come up with a recipe for the hummus. And I thought, you know, we really like Mexican. We love nachos. Why not? Why not try it? So, and I've been sold ever since. I like it better than refried beans. I need to try it on quesadillas because we like making, sometimes we make, the kids and I will make cheese quesadillas for lunch. And I bet this would be really good in place of refried beans. What do you eat hummus with, Nancy? What do you like eating it with? Just good old hummus.
Her fingers, I bet.
Oh, and we were going to, too, while we were doing this, we were going to ask our audience if they had suggestions for what they would like to see us, what recipes they would like to see in the future. So if you have a suggestion for a recipe that you'd like us to make, then pop that in the comments and we can see what we can come up with for next week. Alright, so I have the hummus on the nachos, on the chips now, and I am going to spread the chicken around on that now. So I like to just use my hands, it's a lot easier. A little messy, but that's okay. You want to squeeze some lime juice on the chicken? He's going to squeeze lime juice all on the top of the chicken, just for some extra flavor.
Just back for the...
Oh, that's good. Okay, I'm going to rinse my hands off. So once you have the lime juice on, then we're going to do just a little bit of white queso. And I'm just going to spoon a little bit here and there on top. And if you want to go ahead and start shredding our cheeses, we're going to shred up 4 ounces of cheddar and 4 ounces of Colby Jack.
Nancy says she only eats peanut butter with her fingers. How much for the cheddar?
4 ounces, I think. Yeah, 4 ounces. The queso just adds a little creamy factor to the nachos. This queso happens to have jalapenos, so it's a little bit spicy.
Hey, Gina.
Hi, Gina.
Gina's apparently in love with white queso.
Me too. What was that saying we came up with? Because when I was pregnant, we would go to the Mexican restaurant because I craved queso so badly. And I think it was, I'm here for the queso, I'm only here for the queso, or something like that.
And we're going to have a t-shirt made for you. But I'm just here for the queso.
Yeah.
Nancy also said she likes eating the hummus with just veggies or pita chips.
Ooh, pita chips would be good. Okay, so that wasn't an entire jar. We'd already ate probably a third of it, so.
But if it was an entire jar, it'd probably be on there.
Probably. Okay, so we have the queso. Now I'm gonna spread the red onion all around. And you can put as much or as little of this as you want. We usually use half of a medium-sized red onion. And while you're getting everything ready, you want to have your oven heating up at 325. Gina says you had me at Waikiki. Okay, so we got the onion on there. Now we're just waiting for the cheese. Once we have the cheddar and the Colby Jack shredded, we'll spread that all around on top, and then we'll put this in the oven for about 10 minutes. Nancy says, Scott is wishing I was making this right now instead of watching it.
He can hurry up and come over.
Come to Arkansas.
It's only, what, a 16-hour drive?
Not bad.
We'll
We have
save
a
him
long
some.
weekend.
Might not even be 16 hours.
How long was it that time we tried to do it overnight? Where we tried and then we had to stop and sleep.
We used to be able to make it back to Pennsylvania in 16 hours driving straight from Missouri.
Yep.
So, and that's only 2 hours away from here. So, I'd say probably, I mean, it still could probably do it. It might be a little bit longer. Well, not to Nancy's though.
Alright.
Probably do it in 16 hours.
So now we're just going to put this in the oven for about 10 minutes. And while this is heating up and the cheese is melting, then we're going to chop up the tomatoes and avocados.
So she says Scott used to live in Arkansas.
Alright.
What do you want me to chop up now?
You want to do the tomatoes?
I can.
And then I can work on the avocados too. I'm hoping my avocados are still good. I have a bad habit of letting them go till they're too ripe. Let's see. Can I get that paring knife? So we're going to cut up the tomatoes and avocados so that when the nachos come out, we can just spread that all over, and then they're ready to serve. This one's awful soft.
It's probably dead.
Probably. No, it's not actually. Not bad.
I guess you could always put brown avocado on.
Yeah, I could. This knife is a little dull.
Like me.
You're not dull. Okay, I don't think I need that one. I'm gonna. Oh no, I'm not gonna get that. I'll just let you chop them up.
My knife is dull too. Kind of sharpen it quick. It was dull, it's a little better now.
So we made these for, I think at the time it was like a game time recipe, a game day recipe. They'd be great. We eat them for dinner sometimes, or for lunch, and then they're good for like a party or appetizer, anything like that. How do you know when an avocado is ready? So, I'm not an expert, but I watched a video on Facebook one time that said when you're in the store to take the little stem off, pinch it off, and if it looks green, that little hole looks green, then it's ready to go. Mine are a little dark, but they look okay.
I usually squeeze them. So this is kind of, I like them to be slightly firm. but not rock hard, but slightly firm. That's usually when I pick them. If they're too soft, then they're usually rotted around the outside edge. But just because they're brown doesn't mean they're necessarily bad either.
Gina says, I'm only 3 hours away. Can you keep them warm? Sure. We usually have plenty leftovers, so come on up.
So 3 hours away.
She lives down south a little more.
South.
I'm making kind of a mess, but there you go. I think that'll be enough.
It doesn't matter.
Okay. So when we're done, we'll need the sour cream. Because you just can't have Mexican without sour cream.
And it doesn't take long for the stuff to heat up in the oven. Just when we get your cheese melted.
You could probably even broil it and make it a quicker, because chicken's already cooked, so.
So we used to cook our chicken like that. You know, I would have cooked the chicken now and pulled it out hot and put it on hot. Tonight it was in the fridge for a while, so it was cool. So it takes just a little bit longer. Either way, hot pads.
So I always have the salsa and the sour cream ready so the boys can add it to the top if they want. Gina says for good food I could probably make it in 2.5.
I would have figured she would have been in her car by now.
So we'll just wait a few more minutes on the nachos. Shouldn't be too much longer.
I could probably pull it out now.
Is it done, you think? Probably.
The cheese is getting melted.
Yeah.
It still needs a little bit more.
So what are you guys' suggestions for recipes that you would like to see us make? We could make more Instant Pot recipes. We haven't made a dessert in a while. What else could we make?
Could make furniture.
Yeah, we've thought about some DIY projects.
Could do all sorts of stuff. I know. I'm at a loss for words.
That's a first.
Could make a paper towel holder so Nancy can clean off her fingers after eating the peanut butter.
I'm kind of getting in the mood for spring recipes, Easter, all that. Okay, so now we're just going to take the tomatoes and avocados and spread them all over the nachos.
I'll let you have that task. My hands are clean.
Here, I'm going to do this so they can actually see. We've got one kid sick and one kid patiently waiting for nachos.
Nancy wants an Instant Pot dessert recipe.
We've been thinking about brownies.
Master Chef has arrived.
I brought the boss.
You can slice the avocado or you can chop it, however you want to do it. Just spread it all over. And once you do that, do you want to grab a plate?
Sure.
Then it's pretty much ready to go. The more fresh ingredients, the better. Alright, so I'm going to rinse my hands.
Guess if you were feeling good, you could even put some citrus on there, some oranges or even some lemons. Put about anything on there to make it taste different.
So I'm just gonna cut into it. Put it out on a plate. And then we'll put a nice dollop of sour cream on top. And we're all set. You can see it. They are so yummy.
So Gina wants to know if we have picky eaters. Not really. But the only pickiness we get is when it comes to taking medicine by one of the kids.
Yeah.
So he thinks all medicine is bad and is going to kill him.
He also likes his sugar, his desserts, but he'll eat just about anything that you put in front of him.
But all of them they've always been good eaters.
All right, so Gina says it looks delicious. Thank you, Gina. All right, so next week we'll be back probably around the same time. Maybe we'll come back with an Instapot dessert. We'll think about it and see what we can come up with. But we'll be back about 7:30 next Thursday, and we hope you'll join us back again.
So, thank you.
Bye-bye.
That's
That was almost bad.
caught the blender.